And for my most controversial take on this app, let me just say, if you are an unemployed person, please do not give any of us on this app your take on, I read 100 books a year. It's possible. Baby, we know it's possible for you. You don't have a job. You don't clock in. Now, and I think it's when people don't preface their videos by saying, I read 130 books this year. By the way, I don't have a job. When you don't preface your video with that, people that are amazed by your ability to read so many books while having a job are like, how do you have time? And if you have a job, like, definitely give these people advice, for sure. Like, you know, but if you're unemployed, please don't respond saying, well, I get it off my phone. Just respond and say, I don't have a job. That's why. They're both impressive, by the way, before you come at me. It's impressive to read 100 books a year, job or not. I'm just saying, like, people without a job, just step this one out, okay? I love you. I'll see you in the new year. I hope you read even more books next year, but, like, this ain't the fight for you. This ain't the fight for you. Of course, this is only directed at the people who don't have a job, who are coming at people, like, telling people, you just play on your phone all day, and that's why you don't read 100 books like me. This is for that specific, like, subset of people. So if you're not in that set of people, I'm not talking about you, okay? Rest assured, rest easy. This is a small group of people. I'm sure you've seen them. You might not be them, but that's what I'm talking about, okay? Understand that if you don't have a job, like, you're at a significant advantage. Like, time is the most valuable asset, and the fact that you have so much of it compared to some other people does a lot for you. It does a lot for you. Like, I hate to say it, but you're not on equal playing grounds. And you have to, like, understand that when you tell people about your reading habits. Like, you just have to keep it in the back of your head. I don't know. We believe you. You're heard. Reading 100 books a year is possible. I'm out.
So I'm going to get into book talky business. I don't understand it totally. I don't understand why reading books is so controversial. And of course I do. It's controversial and drama-filled because it involves human beings and we are dramatic. Book Talk Melody, that Book Talk girl who is like, you need to do a disclaimer if you don't have a job. You say you read 100 books in a year. So while you are being wildly appropriative, exhibiting your illiteracy in AAVE, also being judgmental and classist and cruel and just generally obnoxious, you're also wrong. I have been a reader all of my life. Probably, I don't remember, it was between first and second grade, I was bit on the behind by the book fever. And I was obsessed with reading. Obsessed. I mean, I would read while eating. I would read at recess. I would read in class, still pulled A's and B's. That shows you, like, the quality of the education that I was getting at the time. And when my mom forbade me from reading, while eating, I would end up reading the cereal box. Like, I was obsessed. I got through our little school library in very short order, from mythology to fairy tales, like the Grimm's fairy tales, and whatever they had on biographies and nonfiction and stuff like that. All of that stuff, geography and history and historical. I was obsessed. During that time, easily 10 books a week. Easily. Because I was obsessed and it's all I did. I had at least, I used to drive my mom crazy because I would be packing at least 2-3 books with me when we would go anywhere. And she would be like, well, why are you doing this? I'm almost like, well, see, this one is nonfiction. And this one is one that I like, that I'm reading, like it's a fiction book. And this one is in case of emergency and I get bored with both of those or finish them. So, it is very difficult. I have read thousands of books in my life because I kept that up. Throughout my late teens and adult life, I still had a 6 to 8 book a week habit. I got my first 2 jobs at the age of 14, was doing school and volunteering. And because we were, independent study, I was going out to the college by the time I was 15 to our local community college as well. So I was still in those days probably reading about 10 books a week. But it was more like 8 to 10. And then once I was an adult, I had my own place and my first full-time job and all that stuff. I was still reading 6 to 8 books a week. Full time. Full time. So of course I wasn't posing about it. I wasn't like making the social media scene about it. I just had my head down reading. I took a book everywhere. No, as I said, I took 3 books at least everywhere. Because who knew I might have time to read? Family get-togethers, you'd find me in a corner reading a book. Vacation was like the time to read all the things. And then audiobooks. My gosh. One of the things I loved about having a long commute was I called it auditioning new authors. So P.D. James and Ruth Rendell and people like that, like, because I was really into British mystery at that particular stage of my reading. And so the idea that people who read over 100 books in a year need to justify themselves to you, need to disclaim their achievement because you think so, is wildly obnoxious and classist and offensive in the way you're even going about talking about it on multiple levels. These days, I don't read much. Like, of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most. So right now, I don't read. I read 0 books a week at this particular moment. Depending on how tight a grip the illness has on my brain, I'm able to read a couple of books a week, possibly, sometimes. But those are not with any regularity. People's lives, I think, are hard enough without other people attempting to make separation for no good reason. I've seen some of your content. It speaks to a kind of privilege and show-offiness. Performativeness is, I guess, the favored word for such things. It doesn't surprise me that you would think of reading 100 books as a major achievement in a year. You're busy. But I love words. I love language. I love story. It's how I enter the world. And that is something that is shared by a lot of people, that love. And the world has gotten really messy and ugly and fast. And people who love to read are reading. And whether you are comforting yourself, whether you achieve that 100 number while comforting yourself through a period of unemployment, or through just like the wildness of dealing with feeding the beast of capitalism with your labor. People deserve to like be proud of that achievement without comment. And how dare you tell people who are unemployed to sit this one out? Who are you to tell anybody to do anything?